What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I just want to say today is literally New Year's weekend. By the time you guys see this video, it should already be 2024. So welcome to 2024, guys, and I hope you guys had a great New Year's Eve into New Year's. I hope you guys played it safe and had a great time. Today we are gonna be working on the EF Sedan again, and now that we got the engine all freshened up and out of the way right here, we're gonna move into the engine bay. So it literally just started getting cold again. It rained this morning, and it didn't for the last few days, but it's not going to stop us from working on the car. We're going to deal with a little bit of water once it starts raining coming through the tarp, which I need to buy a new one, 20 by 10, and replace that. But again, it's not going to stop me from working on the car. So today we want to start prepping the engine bay entirely, everything that I need to do to get the engine bay ready for paint. I went to go drive around today looking for some materials and things like that, primer and all the good jazz we're going to need for prepping the engine bay. But I want to start sanding everything down, start prepping the wheel wells, probably pull off the fenders, all that good stuff. It is gloomy out today. It is cold. I am wearing shorts. I don't know why, I just do. But the engine bay had already been stripped down entirely from the previous video, and it's literally ready for some sanding. I am going to have to take off all of these rubber that's going to be on the firewall. Brake line's going to stay here, just bent out of the way. One bracket I forgot right there. Motor mount's already welded in, and I'm probably going to pull these brackets off as well too to sand them up a little bit easier for paint. Right now you guys see the fuel line still in here. This is the feed, this is the filter for the tank, this one is the return. And what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to get the car to run with the factory fuel tank fuel pump setup, get everything all dialed in, and then once we do the fuel cell stuff, all of these hard lines are going to come back out because we're going to be running -8 and -6 return externally underneath the car. So we're not going to be needing the hard lines in the firewall, but that's for a later time. Right now I'm just going to work around it. But with that being said, you know what, I think the first thing I'm going to do is pull off the fenders, and then we'll get to sanding. Switch over my shoes as well too. These are steel toes. Definitely not going to be running any AC system other than the rolling 440s, where you roll 4 windows down at 40 miles an hour. That is your AC system. Alrighty. I like to take all these little like plastic grommets off, these little rubber ones, because when you paint the engine bay and then you put it back in, it kind of gives it a little character. When you spray over it, it just seems like you just didn't take that extra step. You know what I mean? Whether the paint job is good or bad, I really don't like overspray. Like, I'm not knocking on it because I used to do it when I was a kid. I just prefer now to take them all off because you know, like if it got brittle, it fell off, it broke off, or you took it off later down the road and then you got new paint versus old paint underneath, it just looks weird. And if you have like say this one down here is all painted up, and then like it cracks, the paint cracks off, then you got like a bunch of little chips everywhere. I'd rather not deal with that later down the road, so may as well just take them off now. This one pretty easy. This one right here, just using different little picks and flatheads, you know, just kind of pops them off. Not that hard to do, right? Also got to remember where these goes, because sometimes I'd be forgetting. So take pictures of these. I mean, they are also different sizes, so you can't put the big one into the small one where you can put the small one into the big one. So, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and just nitpick most of these out. This should also come off easily as well too. Just gotta be very careful to take the rod out first and then the plastic piece after. This right here was for the prop holder, this right here, and it was already broken, so I just kind of lobbed it off. Probably gonna have to find one online and order it. I'm not entirely sure why there's like this weird glue thing right here. I've never seen it before. And it is also on the fuel end right here. But good thing is it's coming off pretty easily. So I just thought it was weird that there's glue on there, but pull this rubber grommet back, because like I said, the feed and return system is going to be taken out of this car, and I want to be able to get paint underneath all that. So I'm just pulling off the grommets for now, and that's how old and brittle that is. A little just tore apart as I pull it off. Oh well. So you guys can see, obviously, right here underneath the bottom half of the radiator support is black, and I think I want to keep it the same way. This whole bottom half is going to be black. I'm going to truck line it all the way down, but this is going to be painted blue. So underneath this is going to be black, and then over here it's not cut. You can also see how far the black goes up, right? And then it transitions into the blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark it straight across, black, blue. I will put the bolts back on just to cover the threads, and also paint the top of it blue as well too, just so we don't have to sit there and clean these to get a nice like gold. Like I mentioned before, I had a hunch that this car might have been hit before, and when I was doing my intercooler, I did notice that this is kind of tweaked out a little bit, and also right here in the top is a little tweaked out. But I'm not going to alter it. I'm going to leave it alone. You can't really see it when the fender is on, and the whole entire front end did line up really good, so I don't want to mess with it. So right now I'm going to take out these little brackets. It's just not being used for anything, and it's going to be a little hard to sand back there, get some paint back there. I took this off on the KRX, took it off on the wagon, took it off on the H2B car, and it just makes it look a lot cleaner and kind of matched up to the other side. So with this, probably just take a flap disc to it maybe, because my little belt sander, I don't have any more belts for it. On the DA, I was at Harbor Freight yesterday, and I grabbed 120 and 220. I'm not sure what I'm using for the engine bay, but now that we got these brackets taken off, we're probably gonna do a light filler work, maybe a little bit there, a little bit on the firewall where I chopped a little too much because the engine was in the way, so I had to cut at a weird angle. But anyways, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna hit the entire engine bay with the DA as much as I can. All the little crevices in between where the DAs can't get into, I will do it by hand. I need to find my red scuff pad because I'm not entirely taking the paint down, since we are going to be painting it the same color. I'm not going to entirely spray the engine bay with primer, just the areas that need it. Right now I'm just going to get right to it because it is getting a lot colder, and again, we're still in shorts, so let's just get to work. It is 7:38 and I am done sanding the engine bay as far as I want to tonight. So we did get to the passenger side. It is fully sanded all the way to the front and the back side. Not much I can do about these little brackets because of small little curvatures. I'm just gonna degrease it, use a tube brush, clean all the dirt off of it, and then just make it nice and dry and clean. I'm just gonna fill it up really good with base coat, clear coat, and this is gonna be hidden underneath the headlight anyways. I'm not worried about it. But the main part of the engine bay entirely sand it down, and tomorrow we're gonna fill some of these little holes right here and some of the grind marks from the firewall I did a couple of weeks ago. And I think I also want to pressure wash the wheel wells and give it a little scrub down. You can't really see it, but it's got a lot of dirt on there, and I want to truck line the wheel wells as well too. And pretty much the same treatment for the front bar, same treatment we did for the subframe here, and just get it all nice and uniform. Somebody left a comment, you can see better on this side. Somebody left a comment and was asking me if I was going to clean all of the gunk underneath the floorboard. I am. So what I'm going to do is, before everything goes back in, I'm going to get 2 more jack stands from Harbor Freight, 6 tons, and I'm going to lift the car up super high so I can degrease the undercarriage and then pressure wash it as much as I could. I will take care of all that at a later time. Right now, I just want to take care of the wheel wells, and then, you know, we'll do that later. But I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. It's really cold right now. My finger is freaking jamming, and we'll pick back up with the fill and the wheel wells tomorrow. Pilot bushing, it's going to show up tomorrow. I need that to put the clutch on, and then the transmission. Got some paint, some Valspar stuff. Not a lot of body work going into the engine bay, just some of the areas that we grinded off, so don't really need a lot of filler either. I think I'm gonna do all these spot welds right here as well too. The other side doesn't have it, so kind of want to make it look like the other side. This one here. This one. All right, so that is all the grind marks filled in. Now we let it dry. I must have been blind, because this side does have all the spot welds as well too. Now I got to mix up a little bit more just so we can fill that up and make this look the same as the other side, or that side the same as this side. So the filler is already hardened on the towers here and the firewall. This one I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit more, and while we wait, I am going to clean the under chassis right here and the wheel well. So this right here is pretty much dirt just caked up on it pretty hard. I'm not going to scrub or wire wheel it or anything like that. I'm just going to shoot it with some detergent and give it a good scrub with my brush, and then we're probably gonna truck bed line this whole entire thing, or truck line, truck bed. We're gonna line this whole thing. We're gonna do it from right here, all of this right here. We're not gonna touch any of these, kind of how it was from factory. We're gonna do later, we're gonna do underneath here when we do that. We're not gonna spray this now, we're gonna do that after, because what I want to do is I want to paint first, right, and then I want to line it after, so that way the line kind of seals the edge on the paint, you know what I mean, kind of keep it from like peeling up over time. So we're gonna do this after, when we do the bay and stuff, in a different video, which probably is gonna be tomorrow for me. But anyways, want to pressure wash all of this. We are set up, so let's get to scrubbing. medium. So guys, we have the wheel wells all cleaned, and I used the compressor to air dry it. Still a little damped, and I'm not going to spray it until it is fully dried. So after pressure washing it, a lot of the black kind of chipped off, and honestly I would like it to be blue like this, but it's one of those, like, you're not really going to see it anyway. So I'm gonna let this all dry up. I did do the center as well. I didn't show you guys, but I pressure washed all of this as well too, looking clean. All that gunk stuff also flaked off. You can see how clean it is here, and passenger side all done as well too. So we're just gonna let this sit for a little bit before we spray it with some bed liner. It's nice and smooth now, and all that low spot disappeared, so that's good. I believe this is 220 or 180, I don't remember, but I'm gonna finish it off with this before primer. Get all those lines out of the way. Passenger side, sand it down. Gonna do some spot putty work on these slightly low spot, slightly because I can see the scratch mark from the sandpaper, and pretty much these are ready for primer. So I was gonna use this Rust-Oleum truck bed coating, which is the same stuff I use on the subframe. Has a really nice texture to it. And then I was kind of like searching for this can over there, not realizing that, I don't know when I bought this 3M rubberized undercoating. Don't know when I bought it, where it came from, but I must have bought it for a reason. I was looking online a couple of days ago, and I came across a video of a guy talking about how rubberized undercoating is bad for your car. It traps and seals, say, like moisture or like small rust that could potentially spread without you seeing it. And honestly, I've used this in all of my cars, and I haven't really seen any like major issue with them, other than when the tire rubs it off with slicks or something like that. But I'm just gonna use it regardless, and I just wanted to be nice and uniform underneath when all the new suspension goes in. Damn, this is some serious stuff. 3M. Look at that, guys. Look at that. My goodness. Definitely gonna have to get another can for behind the subframe and the front lower radiator support. Now let's get back to sanding. So guys, we got the engine bay primered, not fully primered like I mentioned previously, and I primed all of the areas that are exposed metal, and there was a lot. So it looks like the engine bay is primered fully, but it's not. I spent more primer on the areas that are going to be like a main focus. So front half of the radiator support here, the towers has a lot of primer on it, the firewall has some primer, and I have a little bit left in my can for when I need to sand the T-bar and also the front bracket. So primer for those guys, we'll do that off camera. I still have a lot to do before we get ready for paint, but as far as the engine bay goes, it's almost ready. It's almost ready. In the last 2 days, I've just been focusing on getting this bay prepped for the weekend so I can spray it, because I'm really honestly anxious to put the engine back in. I was supposed to get my steering rack today, but I don't think that showed up, or at least I haven't checked inside the house because I've been out all day. But if not, it should be here tomorrow. And again, once the engine bay is sprayed, subframe and everything goes back on, and then the engine can finally get off the stand, mate it up with the transmission, and go back in. I'm stoked for it. I hope you guys are too. But as far as this video goes, I just wanted to prep the bay. We're not painting it. I'm probably going to do it this weekend. You guys are probably going to see in the next video. So we're going to leave this right here, guys. Progress is better than no progress. Remember that always. Pause my music here real quick, but I am going to cap out this video right here. I hope you guys enjoy the progress update on the EF Sedan. I'm stoked. I'm really stoked. If you guys enjoyed this video, man, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for the bay paint, because that's next for you guys, that's tomorrow for me, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, welcome to 2024. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.